Good morning. It's Sue from Snake River Stamping. How are you today? Today is Monday, April 21st, 2025. It's the day after Easter. I hope you all had a wonderful Easter. We had a wonderful Easter celebrating with our family, our 6 grandchildren. Everybody was really excited for Easter, so they had a great time. I was wondering what you've been working on this week. I have been doing a little bit of old things, a little bit of new things that are coming up. Our catalog goes live on May 6th, which is just a couple weeks from now. I hope you're looking forward to that. If you are one of my customers, I hope you received your calendar by now, or excuse me, your catalog by now. And I'm not supposed to show you anything in it, but if you have your own catalog, you know, you can look through that all you want and see what's coming up for this coming year. They always include a few of the really popular things from the past, and then of course they include new things. But don't forget about online exclusives, because they are putting more and more things in the online exclusives because it allows them a little more flexibility of how things come and go. And there will be things that have been around for a little while, and they will introduce new things, of course, in the online exclusives. But it always pays when you go to your online account to check out what is in the online exclusives, as well as looking at their last chance list. Things that are going to be retiring, a lot of those things are up to 60% off right now, and it's for as long as they last. And when they run out, they run out. So that is another really great opportunity for you to score some good deals. All right, I am going to turn my camera down. Oops, maybe if I press the right button, I'll turn my camera down. There we go. So this is our annual catalog. Now we do have, which of course I can't locate this morning, but we do have our catalog. We keep wanting to say calendar. Catalog that goes through the end of April, and those things are still available to you. But this new catalog goes live, like I said, on May 6th. If you don't have a catalog, you can email me. My email address is below if you're watching YouTube, and it's above if you're watching Facebook. And you can contact me there. And if you've been a customer of mine, you should have gotten one. If you didn't, please let me know, and I'll make sure you get one. If you haven't ordered from me, you still have time to order from me, and I'll send you a catalog. But if you haven't ordered from me, I will send you a catalog, but I'm afraid I have to charge you shipping, and they're kind of spendy to ship. So anyway, it's actually cheaper if you just purchase some things for yourself, and I'll send you a free one. So maybe you'll consider that. All right, I wanted to talk to you about my specials for this month. I'm continuing my card kit giveaways. For a $40 order, you get these 2 card kits free from me in the mail. I mail you all this. The paper is all cut. Everything's prepped for you. You have to have your own stamps, your own ink, your own adhesive of choice, but I'll prep everything else for a $40 order. If you do a $50 order, you get these card kits, and you get a free PDF of a card I haven't done online before. And oh wait, $50, I give you the cards. I should have this written down. Cards, some gems, and then a $60 order is the cards, gems, and a PDF. That's the way it goes. Okay, so 3 things. So it's a $40 order, $50 order, $60 order, and do not forget our new Stampin' Rewards is in effect now. The first time you log in to your online account, be sure to opt in to the rewards program. You just have to do that one time, and then you're automatically in for the rest of the time. You get 10% back on every order you place. So if you place the $60 order, you get all my free stuff, plus you get $6 in Stampin' Rewards that you can use on a future order. Now you can use it on the next order you do, or you can save it, and I say bank it, and save up your rewards until you can afford something that's a little more pricey that you're hoping to get. You know, you can do it whatever way you want. The Stampin' Rewards are good for a year from when you start. So if you started today, April 20th, they are good through the end of April 2026. Okay, the last day of April 2026. So you have a year to use those rewards. So you can save them or you can use them right away, whichever one you wish to do. Okay. All right, so those are my card kits for this month. And today we are going to be playing with Darling Dinosaurs. This is the cutest little kit you've ever seen. I love this kit. I don't think my camera's quite right for what I want. Okay, so I'm going to pull this down just a little bit. And maybe make that a little more even. Oh, there we go. That's better. Okay, so Darling Dinosaurs, and this is the cutest kit. I ordered this kit, or this stamp set, this bundle, which is linked below. Just recently, I just got it the other day because of what I have, like I said, 6 grandchildren. So, and a couple of the boys, the 7-year-olds, they love dinosaurs. So I thought this kit would be really fun to play with. And I made several different examples. We're only going to make one card together today, but I did make several examples. They're really fun to color with blends. I just love Stampin' Blends. And they come with all these stamps, and they come with a lot of the die cuts for the different images on this, with the stamps in this set. So I was just playing with these and coloring some of the little dinosaurs. I had one more, I thought, that I colored. Probably stuck in here somewhere. Or not. Anyway, so I was coloring them and just doing, this was tone on tone, and this one, I used 2 different colors on this one. Bring them closer because they are kind of small. This is a little Tyrannosaurus Rex, and this is, I think, a Brontosaurus, maybe, has a long neck. So some of the cards that I was working on this week, this was a pretty simple one where I just colored the Tyrannosaurus Rex and used the stylish, or excuse me, the textured, I'm going to use this one today. Textured Notes dies. Yeah, I used these dies to cut some stuff out. And I put some paper behind it and some twine behind it and made him holding a balloon. And they have the cutest little stamp in here that says roar means blank in dinosaur. And you can put these different sayings in this blank spot. You can say roar means you're terrific. It means happy birthday. Roar means hope your birthday is dynamite. roar means you're the best, roar means I love you, and then it finishes in dinosaur. So that's really cute. So I'm going to put in dinosaur on the inside of that one. Then I made this one. I think this is a Triceratops, and I added a little rocks. I put some grass on here and put some timeless plaid in the back. Used Spotlight on Nature to put her on a circle for the focal point. It usually helps to make, when you make a focal point, to put them on something, give them a little bit of grounding, and here I put the grass down to make that one. And then the last one, this one took a little more effort because there was a lot of cutting out of things, and I had the 2 dinosaurs on here, and I just put happy birthday on the front. That's from the set. And I put the balloons, and I put some little flowers, I put some leaves, I put some of the rocks on there. Again, I set that on a Spotlight on Nature and put a little timeless plaid behind that, but that turned out pretty good too. But today we're going to make a different one. I didn't want to make it real difficult, but I wanted to make it something cute and fun. It says "You're terrific" with a little Tyrannosaurus Rex. He's got some rocks. I used some timeless plaid. I embossed the back panel, one of the back panels. I used a couple different back panels. I changed up the measurements just a little bit. I thought it needed more white border, so I'm going to make the panels a little smaller to make the white border stick out a little bit more. And I'll show you how I did that. So, starting with this, I picked, oh, there's my other dinosaur. Oh, there's a dinosaur, yes. There's a dinosaur. I started with timeless plaid. I like this. This is one of my favorite ones in the timeless plaid. And this is most likely only available to the end of the month, or maybe May 5th, I don't know. Because, and I'm going to say that because they have retiring colors in here, and one of those retiring colors is the boho blue. And so I think they'll probably stop making this. Right now you can get it, and I've ordered several packages of it because I just love this paper. The plaids in it are really, really pretty. I'm just going to show you. They have 4 of every sheet, and there's something on the front and something on the back of every one of them. Take it out of the package. And they always tell you on the very back what colors are in here. And they're keeping most of these colors, like Basic Beige, Cajun Craze, Calypso Coral, Cherry Cobbler, Crumb Cake, Early Espresso, Lost Lagoon, Misty Moonlight, Mossy Meadow, Old Olive, Pebbled Path, no, not Pebbled Path, Pecan Pie. But Pebbled Path, Wild Wheat, and Boho Blue are all retiring. And those are some of the colors in this paper. So that's why I think they're not going to have the ink. They're not going to have those cardstock colors. They're probably going to get rid of it. So if you like it as much as I do, so say they have some plaids on the front and they have a different either plaid or maybe a check pattern on the back. And there's like 48 sheets, I think, in this package. And they're all really, really pretty. And like I said, this one with blue and Crumb Cake and Pecan Pie is one of my favorite ones of that package. So this is the one I chose to use today, and I also used some Crumb Cake in the card we're going to do today. So here are your measurements and what you need to make today's card. So white. You're going to need some white to stamp your dinosaurs and your rock. And I just used a quarter sheet, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. You need some Misty Moonlight, and you need to emboss it. On the one I made here, I used the plaid embossing folder. I decided to use the crosshatch embossing folder on this one. It's just a little more subtle for a background. I measured this one at 3 7/8 by 5 1/8 for Misty Moonlight. My pecan pie layer, I made it a little bit smaller at 4 by 5 1/4, and that's going to go under the Misty Moonlight, and then that's going to go on the white card base, and the white card base is going to have a little bit more white showing, as you can see. So this is a standard card base in white, 8 1/2 by 5 1/2. You will need a scrap to cut a circle to put your dinosaur on. I used the second largest circle from Stylish Shapes, and this is going to be in the new catalog. We've had this for a while. I've had mine for a while, but I count my circles, the largest, and then I use the second largest, number 2 circle, to cut this one. And it is approximately 2 1/2 inch circle. Okay. So if you just have a circle punch, you could use that too. Then I used the Stylish Shapes to cut this little flag, and I used this largest flag in here, and I cut out my boho blue, and then I just cut it in half so I could make 2 cards. I put one on the card I showed you a minute ago, and then I'm going to put one on this card. So I just cut out one piece and cut it in half. Okay, for my flag that I'm going to use, and so that's approximately 4 inches by 1 1/2 inches, and I used the largest flag die to cut that out. So those are all of our, oh, nope, that's not all of our pieces. Excuse me. Inside, it's a white card base, and you could write on the inside, but I kind of like to do something different on my inside. So I cut out of textured notes. I used some crumb cake, and I'm going to put that on the inside, and I'm going to stamp a little bit. And these are my textured notes dies. And I think I used the second largest one, yeah. I used the second largest one of textured notes. I don't have these on a magnet because I ran out of my magnets. So I just have them in an envelope, but these are the textured notes dies, and I have those linked below too. Okay, so now, then I cut another pecan pie layer to kind of tie in with my first pecan pie layer. This one's just 3 by 3. And then Timeless Plaid that I showed you before, I cut with the largest square die from Stylish Shapes. So again, I brought in Stylish Shapes, and I used the largest square die right here on the outside, which is just a little bit smaller than 3 by 3. That's why I'm going to layer these like that, and I'm going to put the circle on top. Okay. All right, so you will need some adhesive, maybe glue, maybe some Seal Plus, whatever you like to do. I'm going to start. Let's see. I'm going to put some things together, and then I'm going to do some stamping for you. So I'm going to save this piece to do my dinosaur stamping and my rock stamping. I'm going to attach my Misty Moonlight, which was 3 7/8 by 5 1/8, on top of my pecan pie, which was 4 by 5 1/4. So that's just going to leave an 1/8 of an inch border on this. And I like to use glue when I adhere embossed pieces, because that glue tends to really get in those little crevices and give me a really good seal on that. And this is going to be a fairly small border on this one. So it's like 1/16 of an inch, because I left 1/8. So that's like 1/16 of an inch of a border. And that's going to go on top of my card base. And I'm going to put that on dimensionals when I put it on my card base. So I'm just going to leave that for right now, because I'm going to work on this a little bit. Now I'm going to take my DSP, my Timeless Plaid, that I cut with my Stylish Shapes, and I'm going to adhere that with some glue to my 3 by 3 pecan pie, and I'm going to put that on with dimensionals too. And this border is just a little bit bigger. This is an 1/8 of an inch, I believe, because I cut it 1/4 of an inch bigger. So that's going to go on there. And then my dinosaurs and my rocks and stuff are going to go on the circle, which I am going to pop up. I think I popped that up. Yep. Yeah, I popped both of those up. Yeah. So I'm going to set those to the side for a moment, because I'm going to do some stamping and some coloring with some of my stuff here. And I'm going to pull out my Tyrannosaurus. I'm going to put him on a, I think this is a 4-inch block, or nope, it's a 3-inch block. This is a 3-inch block. I'm going to put my dinosaur in here, and then I'm going to get a smaller block for my rocks. And I'm going to use my Memento Black. Remember, I buy a white stamp pad because they don't ink it up. And I got this idea from Barb Stamps. And then I already had some Memento Black ink refills. And so I just squirt a bunch of black ink. And then I have a foam stamp pad. And when I stamp with photopolymer stamps, you really need some cushioning. And Stampin' Pure Cement works really good. And I put some paper on there just because I'm going to stamp off a little bit and make sure that my stamps are stamping the way I want them to. And I tap, tap, tap. And I'm going to cut these out with my dies that go with them. Sometimes I stamp a couple of them because I have room on this card in case I don't color as well as I want to. Okay, so I'll stamp a couple of those and clean them off before I make a mess. I just grab some of my baby wipes and clean off my stamps. But I'm going to leave them on the block for now. And then I'm going to stamp a couple rocks. And we'll see how the rocks go. Okay. Now, when I color, for this dinosaur, I used let's see, this one's light. Yeah, I didn't use that one. I used dark pecan pie. I used boho blue, which if you wanted boho blue, you probably need to order it right away. I love boho blue. And then I used dark crumb cake to color my dinosaurs. And to color my rocks, I used dark and light smoky slate blends. And it's always wise to close your stamp pads before you stick your fingers in them. When I color with blends, I always start with my darkest color. I start with my bullet tip, and I'm going to outline my dinosaur. I'm just going to follow the lines that the artist who created this made. And the reason I stamp two is in case I don't like it, I can stamp another one. And you'll notice I'm not doing the toenails, and that's on purpose, but I am going to do his little dots. And I'm going to make his arms a little darker. Okay. Then I'm going to come in with my crumb cake. I was using my bullet tip to do that. Oh, I wanted to color a couple of his stripes in dark. There we go. Just a couple of his stripes. And then on this one, I made his little spikes in the dark pecan pie, but then I decided I think I would like his spikes to be boho blue. I think that would look more interesting because those are our two main colors. So I'm going to do his spikes in boho blue. And I'm just using my bullet tip. And I'm going to make his little toenails boho blue. I'm going to put dots, literally just dots on his fingernails because they're really small. So that's the way my dinosaur looks. And now I'm going to come in with crumb cake, and I'm going to use the brush tip. It's kind of like painting. And I'm going to go over all of the dinosaur. I'm not going to get on the blue, but I am going to go right over that pecan pie. And I'm going to blend this. And it's going to dry a little lighter. Okay. But I go right over the top of all my other pecan pie. And the great things about blends is that's what they do. They blend together, and they will pull out that darker shade, that pecan pie, and give me some shadows. I'm going to put a little bit more underneath his chin because I believe that's where a shadow might be on my dinosaur, and on his leg. And that, I went right over his dots, everything. So it's not, I don't have to color around stuff when I do that. When I go dark first and then I color light on top of it. So that's my dinosaur. Then with my rocks, I start with my dark smoky slate with the bullet tip. And I just simply go around all the lines that the artist made on this stamp. I'm just going to go around all the lines and color those in, just like that. Then I come back in with my brush tip with light smoky slate. And again, this will dry a little bit lighter. And I just kind of paint right over that. And those are my rocks. So then all of this, when I cut this out and I use the dies that I have, so I would put my dies on here and I would cut this paper a little smaller. Okay, and I use just a little piece of repositionable tape to get my dies to stay on there right, but I would cut this off. And I put the rock on there. I didn't need my extra ones because those turned out okay. And a little more repositionable tape. And I cut, like I said, I cut this in half so that it will fit through my mini cut and emboss machine. Or I could run it through all at once on my big cut and emboss machine. Either one. But my mini is really handy to use on my desktop. And all I have to do is I use 2 plates. I use the number 1 and the number 2 plate. I put these on. I need to cut that off to fit all these on. And I put a number 2 on top. And I run it through. And I'm not going to run it through because it makes my table shake because I have my cameras attached to my table. And I run it through like that. So 1, 2, 2 on the plates, just like that. And voila, I have my little dinosaur and my little rock. Okay. And you can see this one's had time to dry, and you can see that it dried lighter, and you can see the shadows where I just did the light crumb cake a little bit more under his chin and his mouth. Okay. And you can see on the rock how those dried too when I cut them out. And I think I might just take my scissors, so I must not have gotten my die right on there, and just trim a little bit of that off. It depends on how much white you want to show or you don't want to show. The dinosaur turned out pretty good, but the rock, I didn't get it quite on there. So now I'm ready to put my card together because I got the dinosaurs. So I bring my card back in. I bring the circle that I punched out back in, and I'm going to place my dinosaur on here. I'm going to glue him on. I'm going to glue the rocks on. I want the rocks a little bit under him. Okay, so I'm going to glue my rocks on first. I do a dry fit and kind of see where I want those rocks. And I put a little glue on there. And I glue those down. And I look at my dinosaur. He's going to be poking off just a little bit. So I'm just going to put mostly my glue on my dinosaur part, not really on his spikes, because his tail and some of his spikes are going to be a little bit off of the circle. Okay. Then I bring in my pecan pie and clear ribboned adhesive backed dots. And I just open my packages by cutting the side off so I can slide these in and out. And I've mentioned before that when you slide your dots, when you get your dots off, that sliding them off sideways works the best. And you can place your dots wherever you want. I'm going to place one. I'm going to do odd numbers. Okay. And I am going to stick this on here, and I'm going to put a dot down here. So I'm going to get some dimensionals. This is a new pack, so I just kind of break it open so I can get started. And I'm going to put some dimensionals on my dinosaur, or on my circle that's holding my dinosaur. And I'm going to put him up here. I'm going to leave a little space at the bottom because I want to put another pecan pie. I'm going to put another one down there like that. And then I'm going to bring back in my layers that I made earlier. And I'm going to be placing those right there. And I'm going to put dimensionals on this because I like to pop things up. Makes me happy. I'm going to leave room for my sentiment at the bottom, so I'm going to put this a little bit towards the top. I'm trying to center it. So side to side it has about the same amount of room, and I place that down. Then I have a piece of crumb cake because I'm going to cut You're Terrific. And I'm going to go back to Stylish Shapes to cut this. And I'm going to get this one. It's inside the bigger one. I'm going to use this one because it fits You're Terrific. So I'll pull off You're Terrific. You're terrific, rather. And I liked, when I do stamping, I either use my Stamparatus or I use this longer block. Looks better for me. And I want pecan pie. Where did I put pecan pie? Oh, there it is. Took it off my desk for some reason. Oh no, I didn't use pecan pie. I used Misty Moonlight. That's what I used. Okay. I used Misty Moonlight. So, I just want to tap, tap, tap. I'm going to have to do this one time. I'm going to bring back in my Stampin' Pierce mat because I need some cushion to do this. To get a good stamp on this. I'm going to bring that back in. But I want to get this good and inked up. But I just tap. I don't press hard. I just tap. And I make sure that I'm not getting ink all over the place. I want to center that. And press it down pretty good. Good. Okay. So then I bring in this. You gotta fit that on there. And this will go through my little cut and emboss machine. But I'm going to try to do it on this table beside me so that I don't shake what you're watching. So again, I'm using plate number 1, plate number 2. I'm putting this on here. Then another plate number 2. And I put all of that in my mini boss. And I'll do that over here, so hopefully we don't have the major shaking thing going on. It's like that game when the kids call earthquake. Okay. So there's my terrific, or terrific, using stylish shapes again. This set is so cute. I just know my grandsons are going to love their birthday cards with these little dinosaurs. Oh, in fact, I was going to show you another little thing I'm doing for them with the dinosaurs. Don't let me forget. I know you're probably going, don't forget, don't forget. Anyway, I use some mini dimensionals, or I would cut the other ones smaller. And that. And I would just put that down here to get that even. And then I just glued this onto my card base, which I very safely put someplace. How do I lose a card base? That's pretty surprising, but not really, because I can lose almost anything. I put a few things away. Maybe I will see my card base. But I don't, so let's make a card base. I think I have some cut. I do. Same kind of card base, same size as I told you before. So this is going to go on the front, okay? And you can see my white border's just a little bit bigger this time. So you see a little bit more definition than you did on the first one. The first one had a really skinny border, and this one has just a little bit thicker border on it, which I think looks better, because then you're picking up that white to this white circle, and it looks nice. Then on my inside, I've got this crumb cake that matches this, and I'm going to put that on the inside. But before I do that, I'm going to do a little stamping. And I've got some little dinosaur dots. I've got some dinosaur flowers. I've got some dinosaur grass. Dinosaur leaves. I got all sorts of little dinosaur things that I can, and my dinosaur rocks. So I'm just probably going to put a flower and some grass, I think. Where did I put my grass? There it is. Dinosaur grass. Take my dots off of there and put my grass on there. think I'll do blue flowers and green grass maybe. And I want to bring back in my Stampin' Pierce mat to do this stamping. I'm going to keep track of that card base now. Okay, we're almost done. So I'm going to put a flower. Oh, I think I'm going to put 2 flowers. That's what I think I'm going to do. I'm not going to put any grass. I'm going to put 2 flowers because I like that. And since this is going to be a birthday card, I'm going to use that really cute stamp that says Roar. And it has a hole in the middle. I don't know, can you see the hole in the middle? Just leaves a little space. Roar means blank in dinosaur. So I could put I love you, I could put happy birthday. I think I'll put happy birthday. Roar means happy birthday in dinosaur. And maybe I'll do black with a happy birthday so it stands out a little bit because I used Misty Moonlight. So this one will be just a little bit different color. And remember, tap, 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 don't press real hard because you don't want to get it smushy. And then you have to place it right in the middle, press down firmly. Oh, you can hardly tell the difference. I thought you could tell the difference more, but you can hardly tell the difference in that. Oh well. My intentions were good, right? So that is the inside of the card. Roar means happy birthday in dinosaur. It's got a couple little flowers at the bottom. I'm going to come back here. I'm going to put just a little bit of tape so that it won't be bumpy when I write on it. Get it centered. And there we go. Really cute inside and a really cute outside. I love this card, and it's really easy to make. It goes really fast. In fact, you could batch these because you could just cut everything, emboss everything, stamp everything at one time, color everything at one time, and then just put them together. And you could make several. If you're like me, you've got more than one grandson, and so you can make several of these at one time. Maybe several nephews or sons or whatever you've got in your family. Turn the camera. There we go. All right, I hope you enjoyed Darling Dinos today, and that with all of our ideas that we had today and the card we made today and the other ideas that I showed you. And I go on Pinterest a lot to get my ideas, and sometimes I tweak them, you know, to use the paper I have, the things that I have. But on Pinterest you can definitely get some really great starting points, which is what you need. And remember, always start with picking your designer series paper. So I picked this Timeless Plaid first, and then I went out from there, and I picked my Pecan Pie, and I picked my Misty Moonlight, I picked my Boho Blue. Oh, totally forgot part of it. Boho Blue. Let me do this just one more thing, because I don't want to give you an incomplete picture. So that's why I had the dots on here, because I cut this piece, this little flagged piece, if you'll remember, out of boho blue, and I used Misty Moonlight with a little dinosaur rock printer things, and I did Misty Moonlight on boho blue, and I just stamped, can't believe I forgot this, stamped some random dinosaur dots on there because I put a flag on there. Oh my goodness. It's a really important part. Anyway, I've already popped up this little piece right here. So I just need to slip this under here. And now I have a little flag. I would just glue that down and slip it under there to make that little flag. Makes it more interesting with a little flag. Okay. So I'm always forgetting something. Anyway, thank you for joining me today. Next week at 9 o'clock on Monday morning, which is April 28th. That's the last week of April. My goodness. Okay. And I am going to feature next week something old and something new. I'm going to feature textured notes, which go with these textured notes dies. So, textured notes is probably backwards, right? I can't even get that right. And it goes with textured notes dies. And I'm going to feature Loveliest Trees. And this is an older one that we've already had, but it's in the new catalog too. And I really like it. It's got a lot of different ideas on this. It has this stamped and die-cut tree, but it has another die-cut tree that's really pretty too. So I will have some ideas for that, and I'll probably be using the paper that goes with it on those cards. That's what I'll be doing next Monday. All right. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you learned something new, and that you will want to get this adorable Dino bundle, Darling Dino's bundle. This was so fun to color. I just was coloring because these are so fun. These open images are really fun images to color, whether they're flowers or the dinosaurs, whatever. But open images with not too much detail are really fun to color with your alcohol blends, and they make a really adorable cards. So again, thank you for joining me today. If you would please like and subscribe to my channel, that helps me so much. If you would share it, that helps me even more. If I can get a bigger audience, I appreciate that. And I will look forward to seeing you here this week. If you would like to email me about anything, about your needs, or if I can help you with setting up an online account, any of those things, just email me at the email address below. It's sue@snakeriverstamping.com now. And I would be glad to contact you and help you with your needs. So thank you for watching today, and we will see you next Monday at 9 a.m.